Hi guys, hi loves, welcome to my channel. Today is going to be another pregnancy talk video, and in this video I'm actually going to let you know how I found out I was pregnant. And I wanted to do this video before I actually forget about all the facts that led me to believe I was pregnant. Anyway, let's get started from the beginning. First, I need to let you know that never in my life have I taken a birth control pill. So I was always very much against this artificial methods of birth control, and especially birth control pill. Yeah, I just didn't want to mess up my whole organism, my whole body, and I'm not advising you against that. It's just my personal choice, everybody needs to decide what works best for them. So I was leading my life, without any birth control. With my hubby, obviously, I'm since 2004, so it's been a long period of time that we are together. And if I have to discuss that personal matter, we always use like natural birth control method. So that always worked for us, in 12 years that we are together. We never had any accidents, I was never even worried that I was pregnant. So and this is what we intend to do even after I give birth to this child that I'm expecting. I'm not planning on starting any birth control method, anything like that, because the usual one really works well for us. Anyway, when we decided we might try to have a kid, we stopped, with that natural birth control. It just happened that I was in my fertile days, and we just tried once and this happened. But obviously, because I was never interested in getting pregnant, and because I was never pregnant, I never really knew, how you actually find out that you're pregnant. I never knew the symptoms except, the lack of your period. In that period of time, I was in super stressful moment of my life. My grandmother was constantly getting sick, and I was traveling back and forth from Italy to Croatia, and the job was really stressful, and I was just going out of my mind. So the period was super stressful. And when my period just skipped for a bit, I thought it's like a normal thing because I'm so stressed out. My period is usually regular. We are talking about 26 to 28 days. Just once it happened that I was like 6 days late, but I wasn't worried that I was pregnant because I was quite sure I wasn't. But it was just another hormonal change. I actually went to my gynecologist and she told me everything was fine, but it was just some kind of hormonal or stressful period in my life. Anyway, I wasn't really worrying until I passed the 34th day. When I saw that my period still isn't showing even on the 35th day, 36th day, 37th day, and so on, I really started wondering if I was pregnant. There was also option that I may be super stressed, but there were other stressful moments in my life, and that never showed so much on my period. I was always pretty regular. So I was having like this little doubt in my mind that I might be pregnant. So I was like 15 days late, more or less. And then I decided to take a test, that pregnancy test at home. I still have it. It's Confidel Progress. And it was actually the first time in my life I have taken a pregnancy test. So I took this test, and I can really say to you that you should stay away from this particular brand, especially if you don't have any clue on these types of tests and all. This will make you even more confused. So basically, I did all what's supposed to be done. I waited a while, and then basically they said if you have 2 lines, you're pregnant, so the other line should show up. and if you have only one line, you're not pregnant. So I got one red line that was really clear, and then I got another, I don't know, like such a pale rose line that was like even invisible, that it was like it wasn't even there. And I stared at this pregnancy test and I was like, what? You know, what is this? What's this supposed to tell me? And I was even more confused than before. And I showed it to my hubby and he was confused too. He was like, no, you're not. And I showed it to my friend actually, because I took the photo immediately and I sent it to her on WhatsApp. And because she had just taken a pregnancy test and it turned out she was pregnant, but another brand, you know, she took another brand, she basically replied back, no, you're not pregnant. So I was like, okay, so I guess I'm not pregnant, but why am I 15 days late? So I started worrying about, you know, something going on in my body, something really wrong going on in my body, because I never was 15 days late, even though I had stressful moments in my life before. But I was like, maybe it's because I'm getting older, so there are hormonal changes now, and the stress is really influencing a lot in that field, more than it used to be, so I have some problem now. And of course I booked appointment at my gynecologist, because I just wanted to make sure that everything is fine with me, and I just wanted to you know what's going on with my body. Why did I skip my period? I didn't want to waste any money on these tests again, because they can be quite expensive. This one was more than 13 euros and it didn't give me any answer whatsoever. It just made me even more confused. So I had to even go online and search for similar experiences with this Confidel Progress, and I actually found a lot of people with same problems who were just confused with the results, and it turned out that they had just similar issues as I had. Anyway, I didn't want to purchase another pregnancy test, because I was like, it's going to be just a waste of money. Eventually I'm going to have to go to my gynecologist, and eventually I'm going to have to draw my blood if I'm pregnant, just to confirm that. So I decided to wait a little bit more. We even went to Croatia, and I had these doubts on me, but these little symptoms that made me thinking I was pregnant were, I had this constant like cramping in my uterus. It's something like when you are about to get your period, or when you get your period, like the first day of your period, it can be quite painful. You can have a little cramps or big cramps, but I usually have just like a little cramps. So I had these cramps non-stop, and I was like, my period is coming, my period is coming, but I had these cramps without period. So that was one thing that was very misleading to me personally. But then my colleagues who are mothers told me that this may be one of the signs of the pregnancy, because like your uterus is stretching and adjusting to this new life that is forming inside of you. So I was like, oh, okay. And another symptom that I had was that I just felt more bloated, and even though absolutely nothing was showing obviously at that early stage, I felt like my skinny jeans are just, you know, too tight on me, and I just didn't feel at ease in wearing my skinny jeans, and I didn't gain weight or anything like that, but I just felt like my body was stretching, and that was quite crazy feeling, quite strange feeling, to be honest with you, because nothing was actually showing, and nobody could actually see this change happening, but there was something that I could sense. So when we came back to Italy from Croatia, I decided I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm going to draw my blood and, you know, just take this step and just be certain, because they are searching for hormones that you have in your bloodstream only when you're pregnant. So if they find this hormone, that means that you are pregnant, and they can actually also tell you pretty much how long have you been pregnant for. So Even though I'm terrified of blood test exams, I don't know how I found the courage and I went there accompanied by my hubby, thank him very much, and we did this blood test. It was very quick and it wasn't painful, but it's all, you know, in my head. I have this phobia, so it never goes away. It was very quick because it was only one test, so it was over in less than 10 seconds, I don't know. So the day after, I actually got the results, and I found out I was pregnant because there was that hormone, and that was a clear sign that I was pregnant. You know, you can't get any clearer than that. And soon after that, I had this appointment at my gynecologist, and I actually already arrived with the exam, and I told her, yeah, it appears I'm pregnant. And then she did a checkup on me, and she did ultrasound, and she actually showed me like little fetus. It was like a tiny little dot. It looked like blackberry, and yeah, it was really weird. Like, my child is that, you know, you're pregnant and this is your child. So that was really mind-blowing thing. And yeah, based on my last period, she established how far along am I. So I was 6.5 weeks. It was Wednesday that I came to see her, and on Friday I would be turning 7 weeks. So that was also like a big surprise, because I was like, 7 weeks already, that's just crazy, you know. And at that ultrasound, we actually already heard babies, the dots heartbeat. So I was like, seriously, it already has a heartbeat? And it was just crazy, you know. So all these emotions were very mixed up in me. I was just, I don't know, I was like out of my mind. I didn't even know how to react. I think my gynecologist was more excited than I was. She was more excited for me. And yeah, I told her, yeah, I'm here because I listened to you. You told me to jump and I jumped, you know, so now I'm pregnant. So here I am. And she was like, oh, great. I wish there were more people like you who listen to my advices. You're going to see, it's going to be a great experience. And I was like, okay. What have I gotten myself into, you know? Yeah, it was just so surreal, and it still is. So basically, this is my story. This is how I found out I was pregnant. Yeah, I don't know. So those were the signs. I guess the most apparent sign was the fact that my period was gone more than it ever was. And also something inside of me that was telling me, you might be pregnant, you might be pregnant. That stretching, cramping pain in my uterus, and just, you know, the feeling of being more bloated, you know. But those were quite confusing because it's how you usually feel before you get your period. So I hope this video was helpful to you if you are also wondering whether you might be pregnant or not. This is how I found out. These were my symptoms, like early symptoms. I found out at 6 weeks. It's very hard to be in my head right now, you know. It's very hard. But I hope I will manage to find inner calm, inner peace, and just, you know, have the courage to go on and rely on good faith, and hope that my baby is going to be healthy one and happy one. And that I will manage to go through all this that awaits me. And what awaits me? A lot of pain. I always end up talking about childbirth, you know. I always end up talking about that, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that now. Let's just not think about childbirth. Yeah. I still have some months left to be carefree, isn't it? Okay, guys, that's it. Enough rambling. I'm sending you all a huge kiss from Italy. I hope these vlogs are interesting. Let me know if they are. Share with me your experiences if you're mothers, or if you're planning to be one in the future. If you don't want to have kids, I understand you too, because that's who I was just a couple of months ago, and I already shared my story here with you, so you pretty much know all about where I'm coming from. Anyway, Vicky's from Italy, and I will talk to you soon in my next video. Ciao! Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. This video is going to be a little bit different. Actually, I have this huge announcement to make, and I never